Tower defense games are often very strict in their execution. The enemy goes from one side of the map to the other, and you place turrets to defend. Endless Dungeon does a twist on the regular formula and delivers a dungeon crawler roguelite with tower defense elements infused. Endless Dungeon builds upon, or more accurately alters the experience the previous game Dungeon of the Endless delivers. The previous game Dungeon of the Endless is a click-based dungeon crawler where you open doors, set up defenses, all while you're trying to make it out of a dungeon. This is much of what Endless Dungeon is, but to a lesser extent, or at least not as interesting. To me, Endless Dungeon is missing features and has too shallow of a progression system. With that being said, I had a lot of fun playing the game. Endless Dungeon starts off with Sweeper and his crew crash landing on a mysterious space station. Unfortunately, they all die except him, and here's where the game takes you through the tutorial. You end up in the saloon, which is the game's hub. Here you meet the rest of the characters and where you set out to explore the space station. The space station is split into 3 floors: the Astral Harbor, the Evolution Garden, and the headquarters. When you clear one of the floors, you progress further down. Here you now have 2 new floors to choose between, and this repeats once more, and then you arrive at the core. At the start you can only access Astral Harbor, and as you continue playing, the others will become available. To unlock more of the later floors, you need to finish character missions. There are 8 playable characters that are split into 2 character archetypes. One can use heavy guns and the other can use handguns. All characters at least have unique skills. Zed, for example, can fire a sonic wave that damage enemies and can also blast power chords to weaken enemies and boost you and your allies. Shroom can throw souls to heal allies and can also create a healing aura. Some characters are more powerful than others, but overall they're pretty fun to play and alters a bit how you play. There's no mixing and matching when it comes to guns. You can equip 2 guns per character, but if a character uses heavy guns, he can't pick up handguns. I find this a bit odd. If a character can use heavy guns, shouldn't it be able to pick up handguns? Right? Then you have Blaze, who has 4 arms, but only uses 2 when he's carrying a heavy gun. Why can't he pick up 2 heavy guns? I mean, to balance it, make him super slow or have a hard time aiming. Something. I really like the design of the characters. With that being said, it feels like they took the easy way out here and made 2 character archetypes, one that uses handguns and one that uses heavy guns. They added a few skills and called it a day. When you're done choosing characters, it's time to head down into the space station. With you, you have a crystal bot that opens the final door at each floor and needs to be kept alive or you lose. To find the right door down, you need to open doors. A lot of doors. The layout of each floor is procedurally generated. The same goes for what's in the room as you open them. Rooms can contain enemies, upgrade stations for your character, research stations for developing new towers, chests with loot, the merchant, nodes for placing turrets to help out when defending, and you also have spots where you can build generators that will give you more of one of the 3 resources. The catch of the game is that you will get a little of the 3 resources for every door you open. The generator will give you more of one of the resources, but has to be defended. The resources are industry, food, and science. Industry is used for building, science is used for researching new towers or researching upgrades for towers, and finally food, which is used for healing or upgrading your character. You also have dust, which is used for upgrading the crystal bot or lighting up rooms that are dark. In dark rooms, you can't build defenses or see if enemies are in them, making the rooms very dangerous. As you open doors and explore, waves of enemies will spawn and try to destroy the crystal bot and everything you have built. The enemies that are attacking are split into 4 factions, all with their own weakness. The spawn points for the enemies make it very clear which enemy spawns at that point of the map. This makes it very clear for you to which tower you want to research and which weapons you want to pick up. This becomes a lot more interesting as you progress and face more factions at the same time. Now you have to manage several elements and effects to swiftly be able to take down the enemies. The AI of the enemies are a bit simple in the sense that they always take the shortest route to the crystal bot. If there's a generator closer, they will go for the generator, and if there are turrets on the way, they will attack the turrets as they go past. On the larger levels, you can really create kill zones where the enemy is just running right into your gunfire and you basically don't have to do anything. I mean, just look at this. I just look at the map and shoot. When you find the right door in order to progress to the next floor, you'll have to move the crystal bot to the door in order to open it. When the crystal bot is moving, there will be a continuous wave of enemies until the door is unlocked. I think this is the best part of the game in my opinion, as you have to prepare defenses for the route the crystal bot will take and then defend it while it travels. The game also have bosses. I think they've done a great job with the bosses in this game. They are very distinct and they all have different objectives in order to kill them. As I mentioned, the progression and variety is a bit lacking. Beyond each character's skills, you can equip up to 3 passive abilities that vary from better defense, attack power, speed, health and so on. Then you can also upgrade each weapon twice. You don't get to choose what these upgrades are, but they make some difference at least. The crystal bot can also be equipped with 3 passive abilities and all characters have to be unlocked, but that's super easy. And then that's it. That's all the progression in the game that helps you each round and are persistent. When you descend and start exploring the station, your research of towers and character upgrades are reset, so there is something to build towards every run. I think it would have been nice with weapon upgrades that also reset every run and finding upgrades for the weapons. It would have been a much better experience than 2 static stat boosts that's always there. The gameplay loop is fine. You build defenses, you open doors, you get better guns and towers, and you face more enemies and harder enemies. The cool thing in the original game was that enemies could spawn in all rooms that were dark, and you had to build generators or turrets in the dark rooms in order for enemies not to be able to spawn there anymore. This feature is completely missing here. Instead, you have dedicated spawn points where the enemy will spawn each round, and it's a real shame. The old game had a lot more strategic decision making in it. The first game was a lot harder as well, I mean a lot harder, and had over 20 characters compared to this one that only has 8. There is some strategic decision making in this game as well, but it's very shallow compared to its predecessor. Yes, you need to manage your resources, where to place your towers, where to place your turrets, play to your character's strengths a bit, and make sure the crystal bot doesn't die. And for the most part, the gameplay loop is fine and fun. But I mean, if the story of the game is only there to set up the gameplay really needs to be excellent for you to want to play the game. I do think the gameplay is fun, but it doesn't last, and it gets a bit repetitive too fast. The original game had a very unique look to it. Yes, it's pixelated, but you really see the quirkiness of the characters and the distinct archetype of the dungeon you're trying to escape. And the same absolutely goes for Endless Dungeon. The graphics are a lot more standard, but it's still unique enough to be recognizable. Same goes for the characters, they're very unique and bring some personality. I just wish there were more personality and more archetypes than just 2. Ultimately, it's hard to recommend the game. If you're looking for a co-op game to play with 2 of your friends, you will have a good time, at least for a while. If you're thinking about playing this by yourself, the original game is a much better pick in my opinion. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you liked the video. Have an awesome day. See you in the next one. Bye.